following a dispute between Antonio Brown and Oakland Raiders GM Mike Mayock in practice on Wednesday. The future remains unclear for Brown in Oakland. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. Guys, this has been a huge storyline kind of looming over the NFL heading into week one. Antonio Brown did not show up to practice yesterday following the threats to GM that were allegedly made on Wednesday. So what's your take on this entire situation? What's going on with Antonio Brown?
Is Antonio Brown okay? Like, has anybody actually asked Antonio Brown, like, let's put football aside for a second and just figure out if this guy's all right? Because he's not operating like a guy that's okay, just from a mental standpoint. You know, the whole helmet thing, I understood it, but it was still a little bit weird. The frostbitten feet was even weirder. And now this whole thing with Mayock, with the blow up where you thought that things were getting better and they were going to be on the field on Sunday and everything was going to be fine. And now we have this happen. It just is a never ending story. And it's not a pattern of behavior that a guy that was, you know, not feeling normal would have, right? You know, I mean, right. It seems like something fishy is up. Antonio Brown, are you okay? That's all I'm wondering.
I would say, you know, my big takeaway from all this, good for the Pittsburgh Steelers and good for Mike Tomlin. We kind of talked about him maybe being too much of a player's coach, the leash being too loose, but like Evan said, this isn't behavior that's coming out of nowhere. This isn't something, you know, it's not like he got traded to Oakland and all of a sudden he elevated to this next level. This was always there, but the Steelers and Mike Tomlin clearly did a very good job of suppressing it, keeping it out of the spotlight, and not letting it bother their team. Now he's
until the end of last year.
Until the very end of last year, kind of when he knew he was already going to be gone.
Yep.
Now he's out of Pittsburgh. It's full blown. So I think we need to take another look at, you know, kind of how we view the Steelers and Mike Tomlin as how they run the locker room, because I think they did a much better job than we realized at the time.
And I think a reason that this story is as big as it is because Antonio Brown is a top tier talent. He's arguably the best wide receiver in the league. So the questions around what's next for Antonio Brown, there's got to be something in the future because of his talent level. Is this a situation where the New England Patriots should get involved and show interest in Antonio Brown?
Well, they're not going to trade for Antonio Brown. His contract is due about $14 million in base salary. More money than the Patriots have currently on the cap, and more money than I'm sure they're willing to invest in Antonio Brown. The one thing I will say, though, is that the Patriots will take anybody at the right price. I mean, they'll take literally anyone that they think can help the football team if the cost is effective. So I think that's where they're going to be at with Antonio Brown. If he gets outright released from Oakland and he wants to come here to reset his market, compete for a Super Bowl, maybe win a Super Bowl, and really reset his market completely for next season, then I think they would be interested at a certain price tag. But they're certainly not going to pay him the top dollar that he's looking for.
Yeah, and you have to wonder how much can you get this guy to buy in, right? It's one thing if he comes in and he's willing to put his head down and do the work, right? Like we saw with Josh Gordon last year, like we saw with Randy Moss in the past, Corey Dillon. But the thing about all those situations to me is the Patriots were able to demonstrate to those players, you need us more than we need you. You need to be a New England Patriot more than we need you on our roster. Can the Patriots get Antonio Brown in that mindset if they get him in the door in New England? Because if they can't, to me, it's not worth it. You have probably the best team in the AFC. You're on track to go back-to-back for the Super Bowl. Why bring in this guy who's clearly lost his mind and jeopardize all that? Now, to me, and this is where me and Evan disagree, if I'm the Patriots, I wait it out. Let somebody else sign him right away, boost his ego, let him think, oh, no matter what happens, I'll have a home in the NFL. Let a dumb team like the Jets sign him.
He will have a home in the NFL no matter what happens.
Let a dumb team like the Jets sign him and let him implode that locker room. But if you're patient, and maybe some of these teams figure out, oh, this guy's not worth it, then, you know, you get to October, then maybe you look at it and say, okay, Antonio, it's us or nothing. And then all of a sudden you have him in the palm of your hand if you're the Patriots.
If he gets released by the Raiders, he's getting signed tomorrow. Like, this is a guy that is so talented that there's automatically going to be suitors for him. I know he's close to Le'Veon Bell, and they both were kind of disgruntled in Pittsburgh and agreed on a lot of things about what were wrong in Pittsburgh. The New York Jets are going to call the next day, within an hour of him getting cut by Oakland, and say, here's all the money. Come to New York. We love you. We're going to coddle you here. You're going to be with your friend Le'Veon. Done deal. If there's no waiting. He's not going to have an opportunity to wait.
You said it before. The helmet, the feet, threatening to throw a punch
I don't
at the
disagree
GM.
with
This
you.
is unlike a situation. This is unprecedented territory.
I don't think it's that unprecedented. There's been plenty of wide receivers that have been diva guys that have gone off the rails.
This is not diva. This is another level.
I think that there's been plenty of people in the course of NFL history that have had things where they have done crazier things than what Antonio
Brown. Not
Brown
all of this
did.
together in this span of time.
It's probably as big of a deal as it is because of his talent level, right?
Yeah.
And this Foxborough report is brought to you by our exclusive sports betting partners at betonline.ag. Head to their website, enter promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus. Let us know down below in the comments if you think the Patriots should show interest in Antonio Brown. And for all of our Patriots content, head to our website at clnsmedia.com and check out our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.